Gina Carano, who used to be one of the earlier female MMA fighters. Obviously, when she was fighting, she was super hot. I mean, ridiculous. She is thicker now, but I don't care. Even thick Gina Carano can get it. Like, that's a fact. No one's going to change my mind. I do understand that when she was younger and thinner. I don't care. You don't Gina Carano. Gina Carano you. So let's start with that. I like her. I thought she was fucking fantastic. I love The Mandalorian. It's a great show. And I thought she was fucking fantastic in that show. Pretty red pill talking about the masks. The masks are stupid. The COVID stuff is dumb. Basically, saying a lot of shit that we say. Well, Gina Carano said something about the Holocaust. Said that to the effect that Republicans are being treated like Jews in the Holocaust. So they decided that, and look, they've been angling for months now. We talked about it on the show before. They've been angling for months to cancel her. They've been trying really hard because she just wouldn't bow down, and that's it. But she made the cardinal sin of criticizing and making light of. You can't do that. I mean, even though senators and CNN and MSNBC were basically calling the Capitol riot equivalent and or worse to 9/11, that is a fact. They were saying those things. That's not me making it up. They were saying it. They could say that. That's fine. But don't imply anything about the one that they talk about, not the Armenian one, the one that the people refuse to talk about, but, the big boy one. So, with that being said, I saw this video this morning. I love the Critical Drinker. I think he does great. I'm actually working on getting him on the show, which would be a lot of fun. I saw this, and it's 4 minutes. It's worth watching. It's the Critical Drinker, so obviously subscribe to him. But tell me what you think.
Gather round, dear viewer, as I tell you a tale. It's the tale of a woman who stood tall in the face of jealousy, cowardice, hatred and vengeance, and dared to utter a single word. No. It's the story of the girl who wouldn't back down. Our story begins a long time ago in a far-off land, with a young woman who decided to become a warrior. Now, this was very unusual, because few women chose such a path for themselves, but she was steadfast and determined to succeed. This young woman proved to be strong and brave. She fought and won many battles, and earned herself great acclaim. But the young woman had her eyes set on a higher goal, and eventually she gave up her life of fighting, travelling instead to the great kingdom of Hollywood to seek fame and glory as an actor instead. And as it turns out, her long years of training and fighting served her well, and soon she was chosen for many roles on the silver screen. Her triumph was cemented when the king and queen chose her to play a soldier, fighting amongst the stars themselves. Her fame was growing fast, but sadly, so was her list of enemies. For you see, a dangerous cult was growing within the kingdom, a sickness of the mind that preys upon the weak, the hopeless and the pathetic, turning them into mindless zombies. Unable to think for themselves any longer, they could do nothing but recite the words of the cult leaders and form into vicious mobs to attack anyone who questioned them. All of the kingdom lived in fear of this cult because few were brave enough to challenge it. Not even the king and queen, with all their wealth and power, because they depended on it to stay safe in their big, comfortable castle. And certainly not the actors, who were mostly self-absorbed cowards that cared only for applause and approval. In fact, most of them even pretended to be in the cult themselves, because it's easier to sacrifice your dignity and your principles rather than stand your ground against...
Especially this fucking asshole, Joaquin Phoenix over here. Mr. Joker movie, Mr. Everybody, this panders to white supremacists, this panders to incels. That's what this Joker does. That's what it panders to. And then he went up there and he did a stupid gay speech about unity and fucking, and I don't know, fucking climate change. Some fucking shit that he doesn't even care about. Thank you, Atlas Report. So fuck him. Fuck Joaquin Phoenix. He's a great actor, and The Joker's a great movie. But Jesus Christ.
The mob. But the young woman was different, and when the cultists tried to turn her into one of them, she didn't just refuse their offer, she openly mocked them. Suddenly, the free people of the kingdom were laughing at them, and their beliefs, and their power was shaken. The young woman had just become their enemy, an enemy that had to be destroyed at any cost. Again and again, the mobs came for her.
Well, let's read some of these. These are good. No one is bullying you. You shaded the BLM movement. You've blocked people commenting it on your post. If you're not racist, then prove us wrong, because that looks pretty racist to me. Prove us wrong. That's the fucking man. Calm down, Royce. Just relax. Your screaming's not going to fix anything. You know that. That's my point. When it comes to all of this stuff, nobody owes you anything. No one needs to prove anybody wrong. Like what you like, don't like what you don't like. If you don't like Gina Carano, don't support her. Don't watch The Mandalorian. But you can't. And look, I love Star Trek. I like Star Wars. Notice I said love and like, because there's a difference for me. But these people, their whole life is Star Wars. Their whole life is Harry Potter. It's like three things that define them. So instead of saying like, but you can't, because you need to watch The Mandalorian. You need to watch it. So instead of shutting it off, if you just don't like her, don't want to support her. Now, see, there's a difference between me and these people. I can watch stuff that people I don't like make if they're good, because I could separate the art and the artist. Like, I can. Like, it's not difficult for me. I'm sure 99% of the things that I watch on TV are made by people that are lefties and or are too scared to say anything or pander to the left. I get it. YouTube, the same thing. That's just life. Okay, that's life. But I don't care, because if I watch Joaquin Phoenix and the Joker, it doesn't mean that I'm going to listen to anything the fucking actor has to say about anything, because I don't really care. Fucking dance for me, monkey. I paid my $10 to watch the movie. That's just the way I look at it. Some more tweets here. She really thinks we would create 12 fake accounts just for her. But anyways, you call people cowards. But who is the one blocking people for calling you out on your racist bootlicking behavior? Ugh. I'm sorry you're so triggered by teens and adults calling you out for being a cop apologist and a racist. A cop apologist and a racist. Imagine being a grown woman thinking you're being bullied by a bunch of teenagers on the internet. Look, it's not this. The other thing, that's a misnomer, and that's fucking bullshit. It's not a bunch of teenagers that are bullying you on the internet, because you go through these profiles and you go and see who these people are, and it's not a bunch of fucking teenagers playing Pokemon. Okay, it's a bunch of adults. It's a bunch of blue-haired in their 30s. It's a bunch of fucking guys making the soy boy face. Those are the people that are bullying her. Don't fucking pretend. Don't fucking pretend that it's just a bunch of teenagers, that they're just being kids, because it's not. And there's a lot of people that are criticizing her that don't even watch her work. One Man Army 2, Joker 2019 sucked like poo. I liked it. The Angry Druid, you should do a video comparing Hasbro G.I. Joe to Fast and the Furious, arguing G.I. Joe action is more realistic. Agreed with you 100%. Calling you out for being a bootlicker isn't trolling, Gina. It's calling you out on being a bootlicker. All of these people are the same people that if you were to, for even 5 seconds, make a joke about their preferred pronouns in their Twitter account, they would have your account nuked from the planet. They would fucking use the Ronald Reagan Star Wars system to destroy you so you're never seen again. I promise no one cares enough about... I mean, ready with that. Oh, and by the way, there's no trolls. Everyone just hates you. Everyone does not hate you. That's actually bullshit. Oh, no, I'm Gina Carano. I'm being bullied by teenagers on the internet. A fucking teenage... These people, these fucking people, man. But cancel culture isn't real. Suck a dick.
Had to be destroyed at any cost. Again and again, the mobs came for her. But again and again, they were beaten back. Their rage and frustration knew no bounds. Here was an enemy that would not bend the knee to them, no matter how much they screamed at her, and could not be defeated by even the fiercest mob. An enemy that threatened to expose them for the weak, frightened, pathetic individuals they had once been, and deep down they still were. Sensing the growing power of the cult and their ability to turn friends, families, and neighbors into enemies, the young woman tried to warn the kingdom of the threat they posed. She even gave examples of other evil cults.
Children are beaten in the streets not by soldiers, but by their neighbors, even children, because history is edited and most people don't know and realize to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews. The government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. How is that any different than hating someone for their political views?
Cults from other kingdoms who had once done similar things, and in that decision lay her downfall. Simply by naming them, she had inexplicably tied herself to them in the eye.
Hold on. Drinker. Critical Drinker's a smart dude. Critical Drinker's a smart dude. I want your verdict here on this. Did he say naming them? Because let's be realistic. In 2021, when you say naming them, we all kind of know what you're talking about. I get it. His channel's big. He's 700,000 subscribers almost. And I get it. He wants to keep his channel, and good for him. But I see what you did, bud. Hey, I see what you did. And I respect it. And I respect it, buddy. That's all. Hey, Drinker. I respect you, bud.
Decision lay her downfall. Simply by naming them, she had inexplicably tied herself to them in the eyes of the cult. She had exposed a chink in her armor that they could exploit, and exploit it they did. The greatest mob the kingdom had ever seen gathered at the gates of the castle, demanding the young woman's head. And the king and queen, desperate to stay on their shiny throne, finally gave them what they wanted. The young woman was brought down and handed over to the mob. Her so-called friends had deserted her. The cult had won at last, because no one had the courage to stand against them. No one except the girl who wouldn't back down. But the king and queen's reprieve would be short-lived, for the people of the kingdom had seen them for the cowards they were, and would no longer work to protect their castle. In fact, they turned their backs on them by the thousands, leaving the kingdom far behind, until at last the mob came for them as well. Too late did they realize that if only they had stood with the young woman when they had their chance, all of this could have been avoided. But of course, this is just a story from an old drunk. It's not like something as sinister and pathetic as this could ever actually happen. Could it? Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
They wrecked her fucking career. They wrecked her life. And nobody defends them. I mean, look, obviously people like us and there's other people online that defend them, but none of her peers will defend her now. That's it. She's persona non grata. That's all she is now.